Hello, everyone. We're live. So I'm gonna give a few minutes and let y'all get in here. Oh, hello, and welcome to Beyond the Chair Q&A with Ashley Renee. Let me know if y'all can hear me, if y'all can see me clearly. Let me know so I could fix it in the beginning. How y'all doing? Hello, hello, hello. Somebody let me know y'all could see me and hear me clearly. And welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Beyond the Chair live Q&A with Ashley Renee. And I am your host. Okay, I don't know how to pin. I have to learn these things. Looks and sounds great. Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Nelson. Thanks for the feedback. All right, I'm going to give it a few minutes and let people come in, but we're going to get started. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just giving it a few minutes and just allowing people to get in here. But this is week 1 of Beyond the Chair, a Q&A with Ashley Renee. Week 1 of 6. So I'm going to be going live every Sunday for the next 6 weeks at 6 p.m. And we're discussing all things hair. All things hair. So I'm excited. I hope that you guys are excited. I am happy that you all are joining in. And I'm just here to share. I'm just here to share. So get your questions ready. In week 1, if you guys saw my post, I'll be really just using this time to create a foundation for the next 6 weeks. Use this opportunity to introduce myself, share a little bit about my experience, share a bit about my mission as a hair care specialist, and also share some things about my own personal hair journey. So I'll be accepting questions based on the things that I'm talking about in this particular week, because for the weeks to come, I'll be going into detail about hair trimming, cleansing and conditioning your hair properly, so many details. So I've gotten a lot of questions submitted from you guys, and I've created some notes to carry us these next 6 weeks. But in today's week 1, I'm going to be using this time, like I said, to introduce myself, my experience, my mission, and to share with you guys my own personal hair journey. And the floor will be open for some questions. Feel free to submit any question. If that question falls in line with the weeks to come, I'm going to take that question and write it down and perhaps add it to the notes that I have for that week. So I'm going to encourage you guys to stay tuned and ride with me these next 6 weeks. So without further ado, we'll get started. So I'm Ashley Renee. If you follow my page for a while, you know that I am a hairstylist. Recently, as of 2020, I resigned from behind the chair, but I am still at heart a hair care specialist, and I am still here answering questions, giving advice, making suggestions, because my hair is my passion. Okay, so that's never going away, whether I'm behind the chair or not. But now I look at this as an opportunity to extend myself broader than just behind my chair. So that's why I call this Beyond the Chair. And I also call it Beyond the Chair because I'll get into what leads me to my mission, which has always been as a hairdresser. First and foremost, the health of the hair has always been my number one priority. And so it's always been important to me that my clients not only receive a beautiful hair service from me, but first and foremost, they learn on their own and develop a relationship with their own hair, and they learn how to manage and maintain their hair beyond the chair. So I have a dual meaning to that whole beyond the chair thing. But everybody who's just joining in, welcome. And thank you. If you have any questions, I'm going to encourage to use the question bubble thing so that I don't miss it as people are coming in and out of the live. But as I said before, week 1, I'm going to just use this time to create a foundation for the next 6 weeks. So I'm going to introduce myself formally, which I just did, and I'm sharing with you guys my mission, my experience, and my personal hair journey. So if you have any questions along those lines or any other questions are welcome. But as I have weeks to come, I have specific topics pertaining to certain things from questions that were submitted to me previously. So I welcome you to share your questions, and I will jot them down and add them into the category based on the coming weeks. So as I've stated, my mission, mainly, guys, has always been just for my clients to have self-sufficiency. I've always felt it important that they not only come to me for their hairdressing, but for them to learn how to maintain their hair on their own. So the purpose of this live is for you guys to gain some information from me through your questions, through some of the knowledge that I'll share, things that weren't asked of me, things that I've learned along my own hair journey, but to use this information to develop a personal relationship with your own hair, no matter the state of it, whether this is not just for natural people, but this is also for if you're chemically processed, if you're natural, if you have locks, whatever the case might be, if you wear wigs. We're just touching on hair in general. So my whole purpose is for you guys to gain the knowledge that you need so that you can have the confidence to manage and maintain your hair on your own, whether you have a hairdresser or not, because I just think that it's very important. So recently, like I said, in 2020, I resigned from behind the chair. But if some of you have seen, if some of you have purchased my vision journal, you see that it's entitled 2020. So I have a brand called 2020 by Ashley Renee. Was not only inspired by, sorry guys, not only was it inspired by the year 2020, but it was also inspired by so many other things, especially the pandemic. Like I said, it's always been important to me that my clients knew how to have the knowledge, thank you Keisha, to manage and maintain their hair on their own. And so with that whole pandemic happening, I really saw why it was so important that I stressed that. I never knew that we would be in a situation where the whole thing would just be shut down. But the things that I taught behind my chair to my clients came into great use, because I would constantly encourage them that I wouldn't be behind the chair forever, and that whether you go to a stylist or not, it is important to have a relationship with your hair. It is your hair. So the pandemic really taught us that, because you couldn't go to a hairdresser. You couldn't go sit in somebody's chair and have that luxury. So being at home and having that confidence to be able to do your hair on your own, I don't care if it's a slick back. You need to know how to at least do something with your own hair. I can't stress that enough. Everybody who's just tuning in, welcome. This is week 1 of Beyond the Chair with me. We're discussing all things hair. In this first week, I am just introducing myself, just sharing a little bit about my journey as a hairstylist, sharing with you guys my mission and my purpose for doing this series in the first place, and just a little bit about my own personal hair journey, so that I could just tell you guys, just from a personal standpoint, not just a hairdresser standpoint, because I think it's also mistaken that just because I'm a hairdresser that I always knew what to do with my own hair. That is not true. So my experience, I have over 12 years of experience behind the chair, and I say over because I kind of stopped counting. I really stopped counting at 10, but a couple of years have passed since I stopped counting at 10, so now I just say 12. But I've been behind the chair over 12 years, and I got my start as a shampoo I was about to say a shampoo stylist, a shampoo girl in my cousin's salon when I was 15 years old in high school. So I've been in the salon environment well over 15 years. I'm 33. So with that being said, I have a lot of experience. I got my start as a shampoo girl, learned how to properly cleanse and condition, which is I want to say week 3 of this series, because I that is so important. That's where I got my start. And cleanliness and clean hair is like the foundation of great styling. So we'll get more into that. But as far as my experience, as far as years go, that's it. I've worked in a few salons. I've been a booth renter in all of those salons. So I've always run my own business. I've developed and gained my own clientele, just word of mouth and promoting myself. I'm very proud of that because I gained a pretty big clientele. And I love all my clients. If you guys are out there, I love y'all and I miss y'all. But yeah, so I worked behind the chair for some years. Most recently, I had my own salon suite for about 4 years before I resigned, and that was a great experience because I had a salon suite where I could, have this full-on experience for my clients, and not only just hairdressing, but it was a personal one-on-one experience. So yeah, I've been a salon owner. I've graduated from Paul Mitchell, where I graduated valedictorian of my class. Gotta add that in there because I'm very proud of that. I also graduated from Xavier University with a biology degree. That's just a little schooling background, just trying to get you guys to understand my experience as a hairdresser. As of most recent years, I've become more specialized in, I say healthy hair, but I was most known for natural hair. And that really pushes me into my personal hair journey and talking a little bit about that. So from there, I went natural in about 2013. I went natural in 2013, and I actually transitioned. I've transitioned, I've big chopped, I've voluntarily big chopped, I've big chopped because of chemical damage. I feel like I have really experienced it all when it comes to my hair. But as far as my personal journey, since 2013, it's been a good one. And I always would tell my clients, when it comes to going natural is really a personal journey. It's not just a hair journey, right? So I want to first of all say that this live series will not just be pointed at natural hair, but I also have to speak on natural hair because that is my personal experience. I'm also skilled in chemically processed hair too, so I will address those things as well. But I want to share with you my journey because it really doesn't have anything to do with me being a hairdresser. I had to learn, just like everybody else, how to develop a relationship with my hair. And I'm very, that is my whole point of doing this with you guys, because I want every woman to have a relationship with their hair. You know, I hear it all the time. I don't have time. I don't know what to do. Well, that's why we're doing this, okay? Just a little side note. That's why we're doing this, because I want you guys to be encouraged. I want you to have the confidence to be able to manage and maintain your hair on your own beyond the chair. So let me look at my notes real quick. Yeah, so 2012 is actually when I decided to go natural. I started transitioning, right? So at that time, I was so infused by the concept of relaxing my hair that I could not see myself being natural. And I did not know my hair. I did not have a relationship with my hair beyond getting the relaxers and straightening it and doing weaves and stuff like that. So this was pretty new, to say the least. So when the natural hair thing started, I started having some curl curiosity, is what I call it, curl curiosity. I wanted to know what my hair looked like. So I transitioned, and once I transitioned, I started kind of seeing that my hair was not what I thought it was, in the sense that for so long I had been told my hair was nappy, my hair was thick and coarse, and I needed a relaxer. All lies, right? So I developed this curl curiosity, transitioned, had my daughter during this transition period. I was still flat ironing my hair and stuff like that, but wanted to really know what my hair was like, because even though I was wearing it natural, I was still straightening it and stuff like that. I didn't really know, still didn't know my hair at that point. So had my daughter, got my hair colored. Color broke my hair off. I big chopped. And that is really when I feel like the journey begun, because when you big chop and you've never seen your hair before, it's pretty shocking in the beginning to get used to that. I didn't know what to do, okay? But YouTube University helped me out. So I started learning how to do things with the TWA, the Teeny Weeny Afro stage. Started learning things, and what was most important to me and how it draws back to my position as a hairstylist. At that time, natural was becoming a thing, and I started to have more and more clients interested in it, and I had not really had my hand in natural hair because I still had clients that were used to being relaxed. And so when I began to have other clients who wanted to also be natural, me going natural gave me an opportunity to be my own test dummy. My own guinea pig, as I like to call it. But once I did that, me going through the process helped me to help other people go through the process. And so as I continued to learn my hair, learn what worked, what didn't work, that took years of trial and error. So I always encourage the trial and error phase, because it just has to happen. I think that through that process, it really helps me gain a respect for my hair. I begin to not only get to know my hair, but I begin to get to know myself. And I got to accept myself in a new light. Because, like I said, going from being relaxed to completely natural is, I don't want to say shell shocking, but it can be. It took me a while to I went through phases of not feeling very pretty. I went through phases of not knowing what the hell to do with it. I went through phases of putting my weave back in. Like, it was a whole thing. Years of just up and down trying to figure it out. But that's what my encouragement always is to women, to not give up. In order to develop this relationship with your hair, you have to wear it. You have to, I don't care if you wear protective styling, you wear weaves, you wear wigs, whatever it is. You have to still get to know your hair underneath it all. You have to nurture your hair underneath it all. And in order for you to see the growth and to see progression, you have to wear it, you have to get to know it, you have to figure out what it likes, what it doesn't like. Those types of things are important. So my whole thing with doing this series with you guys is to really encourage you to gain the knowledge first and use the knowledge to gain the confidence to really manage and maintain your hair on your own. That's where I'm trying to go with that. I just joined it. Did I miss something important? Nothing. I'm gonna save the live so you can probably watch the beginning back, but basically I'm just saying hi. I'm just introducing myself. I'm sharing my experience. I'm sharing at this current moment, I'm sharing my personal hair journey and really just throwing in some tidbits that are coming to mind about the natural hair journey specifically. But I don't want to make this all about natural hair, but I am speaking from being a natural hair person at this point. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about pertains to that. But as a hair care specialist, to me, and I say this very generally, hair is hair. Hair is like fabric, and it really needs to be tended to with love. With love, no matter the texture, with love, even if it's chemically processed, with love. Okay. I always say, like, your hair, it's your hair. Your hair is an extension of you. And to only rely on like a hairdresser, I always, as a stylist, wanted my clients to know their hair more than I knew their hair. Like, I can know hair from a textbook state, from even an experienced state. I've dealt with various types of hair. Thank you. Thank you, Stone Hunter. Appreciate that. Stone Thunder. I read that wrong. You have to, I'm gonna back up. You have to, like Sheena said, thank you, embrace the journey. You have to embrace the journey of any hair. Like, if you want your hair to grow, if you want it to flourish, you have to put in. You only get what you put in, right? And that goes with hair and with everything else. So, I'll share some things that I've learned over the years of being natural. Like I said, this is not going to solely be hair is hair, but at the same time, I want to encourage that you develop that personal relationship with your hair, because your hair is specific to you. And even as a hairdresser, if you come sit in my chair, I'm only with you for a couple of hours or so. You're with your hair more than even sitting in the chair with me. So I always wanted my clients to know their hair more than me. I can also learn some things from your hair and help you along the way, but my biggest thing was that my clients at least knew how to properly wash their hair, at least knew how to play with products and figure out if they worked or not, at least knew how to do something with their own hair and had some sense of self-sufficiency. I'm really big on self-sufficiency. So a few things that I've learned along my journey that I will share with you guys is that when making the decision to go natural or make any change with your hair, do it when you're ready. Okay? Do it when you're ready, because otherwise it won't stick. Especially with natural hair. If you do it when you're not ready, it won't stick at all. And you will immediately run to the braids, run to the wigs, run to whatever. The whole thing, the whole getting to know your hair process, you have to wear it. You gotta just wear it. Even if that twist out didn't come out right. Like, you gotta figure it out. And the only way you can figure it out is by wearing it. That is like my number one advice. Like, you have to wear it to get to know it. Welcome to everybody who just came in. Hello, hello, hello. Right now, I'm just sharing some tips that I've learned along my own personal hair journey. I've covered introducing myself to some of you guys who know me as a hairdresser. I'll back up a little bit. But I'm a hairstylist, hair care specialist is how I like to refer to it, with over 15 years in the hair industry. And the purpose of me doing this live series, it is a 6 week live series. And the purpose of me doing this is to share information, is to answer some questions, and to just provide information for you guys so that you can feel confident enough to manage and maintain your hair beyond the chair. So even if you go to a hairdresser, I still want you to know how to manage and maintain your own hair. So I just think that's really important. Something else I learned along my hair journey is that making a commitment to cleanse and condition on a routine schedule, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, whatever it is. I don't suggest past 2 weeks, but a week to 2 weeks, and actually committing to it. And actually, my thing is treating your hair like a self-care routine. Your hair is your hair, right? And we always want our hair to grow. We always want our hair to do what we want it to do. But you have to realize is that your hair is going to do whatever you put into it. So treat it as if, just like you take baths and stuff, just like you drink water, just like you would do anything else for your body, you exercise, whatever the case is. You want to nurture your hair as well. So putting it on some type of routine, and instead of making that routine like this daunting task, make it fun. Make it a self-care day. Put some music on. The thing I hear, especially when it comes to natural hair, is that it takes too long. I get it. It's very timely. It's timely on me too. Even as a hairdresser, I don't snap my fingers and my hair is just done. I take my time, just like I'm encouraging you guys to take your time. It takes me hours to do my hair too. But what I've tried to do is put on a podcast, put on a YouTube video, listen to some music. Like, make it fun for you. But committing to some type of routine and schedule will get you in a groove of having this take care, TLC type of relationship with your hair. Yes, Leisha, create a whole vibe. It's self-care. It really, really is. Just like you take care of your skin, we gotta take care of our hair, okay? Trimming. I'm not gonna go too much into that because trimming is week 2's topic. It is a huge topic. Probably one of the most that I get a lot of questions about. So, but I am gonna say that there's so much information out there about trimming and whether you should do it, how often you should do it. Personally, you should do it. I personally think, and as a hair care specialist, you should do it. How often? Again, that's going to be determined by your hair. And just developing that relationship with your hair so you can know when hair talks to you, okay? It lets you know when it wants to be cut. It knows when it needs conditioner. It knows, and it knows how to speak to you. So you have to tune into it, develop that relationship with it so you can know the cues of what it's asking you for. Definitely water intake, drinking water, eating better, a balanced diet. That always helps, because we know hair grows from the inside out of your scalp. So it's nourished at the root of what's coming out by what's going in. So that's important. I learned that along my journey. Simplifying the hair routine. That I've learned because, like I said, I went to YouTube University. I still go to YouTube University for things. But the good thing is, as a hair care specialist, I can kind of weed out the stuff. But when I started my hair care journey, my own hair care journey, I got on YouTube and I was fed so much information. And there's so many techniques to try all of this stuff. And it got overwhelming. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of women just kind of feel like doing their hair takes too long. Simplify it. Cleanse it. Condition it. Style it. Period. Being gentle. I've learned you have to be gentle with your hair. Hair is like fabric, okay? And I will say, in terms of natural hair, the kinkier it is or seems to be, the more fragile it is. Contrary to what might be perceived or believed about that. But I know from my own experience, be gentle. Be gentle. Be proud of your hair. I had to learn how to be proud of my texture, figure out what to do with it, and just rock it and own it. What y'all see now is years of me just getting to know it and learning it and figuring out what to do. Every now and then, I still have a twist out that didn't work, but I figure it out and I do something different the next time. Or, you know, we'll get more into detail about those things. But overall, those are just some tips. I'm going to write that out and put it in some highlights for you guys following this live. But are there any questions about my experience, about anything? Even if it's something that's coming up in the next weeks, like I said, I'm going to take note of it and add it to the topics that are to come for the next weeks. But let me know if there's any questions about my personal hair journey. And like I said, this week 1 is really just me setting the tone, introducing myself to some of you guys who may or may not know me, follow me or may not follow me. But I wanted to share my experience as a hairdresser with you guys and just let you know a little bit about me so that you can know me through this series and we can get into some really, really good stuff. I will say week 2, next Sunday, we'll be talking all about hair trimming. It's one of my favorite topics. That's why I put it as the first major topic that we'll go through. So I'm excited about that one. I'll have the highlights of what we'll be discussing on my page. I'll post what the next week is about. Okay, I got a question. How can you tell what type of hair I have, like 4C or B? Okay, so I'm gonna also, thank you, Natural Lady Friday, Max Brody. So I'm gonna also kind of go into hair typing later, but just to answer it Um, I will say, I find that the whole hair typing, this is how I personally type hair, okay? I type hair 1 through 4. I don't go into the ABC of it. I found that it can be very confusing. I found that, a lot of my clients would be very confused by it. I would say type 1 through 4. And let's just say if you're 4C or 4B, let's just stick to you are type 4. In type 4, I'll go through them. Type 1 is straight hair. Type 2 is wavy hair. Type 3 is curly hair. Type 4 is like your coily, and that would fall into like your kinky curly hair. I am a type 4. There are variables to type 4. Don't get me wrong. The A, B, and C, it tries to define those variables. But this is why I'm encouraging you to get to know your own hair and not necessarily look for it to fall under a certain category. If you can understand that it's type 4 hair, which means it's coily, kinky, curly hair, then you're good. Then you can go into figuring out, am I low porosity, am I high porosity? For me, porosity, for me personally, has been a little tricky. Okay, stay with me. So for me, my hair is a type 4. I would say that I'm high porosity because my hair it sucks up moisture. I like to refer to it in the sense of speaking towards the cuticle layer. And this is why I say I'm going to get into it in another week to come. But if you are falling under the coily, kinky category, you can label yourself type 4. I would say stop there because you have to understand that curls have character, as I like to say. And there's various character all over your head. So you could be, based on those charts, a type 4B over here, type 4C over here, and a type 4A up in here. That does not, to me, that doesn't really help. What helps is gaining experience of how parts of your hair takes on product. So like for me, literally I can split my hair down the middle. Okay. Literally I can split my hair down the middle, and this side of my hair is way looser in curl than this side. Type 4 hair too, in some cases, not all. Some people with lower porosity, you can see their curls if they just wet their hair. For me, if I wet my hair is just, it's not very defined until I put moisture to it, product to it. So for me, I don't know which side is like A, B, whatever. But what I have learned is that, okay, I can see that my curls on this side are looser than this side. So, okay, I'm going to, I can make my twist a little smaller on this side because this side is tighter. And I can make my twist a little looser on this side, bigger on this side, so that it balances out. That comes from experience. Might have made sense to y'all. It makes sense to me, of course, because I'm experiencing it. But I'm saying that to say, when you start to just see the different types and just shapes and bends and the type of curls that your hair makes, you have to just kind of look at it and see. But your overall, like my overall, I am a type 4 for sure. I'm a kinky curly girl, and my hair soaks up stuff really quickly, like a sponge, and can presumably be pretty dry most of the time. So we'll get more into detail. Like I said, I would just really narrow it down to 4 types: straight, wavy, curly, extra curly. That's how we learned it in school. And extra curly to me in the natural world means coily, kinky, curly hair. Period. So I would group it by that, and then I would address my hair from that perspective rather than trying to figure out if it's a B, a C, a D, a Z. I don't know. Because I encourage my clients away from the sub category of the typing, and we just stick to 1, 2, 3, or 4. Period. Hope that answers it. But like I said, I'll go into hair typing in weeks to come. I just love your spirit. Been following you since the journal challenge, and you always present info so well. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, I have a question. Will you talk about products to use for 2-strand twist and tools for safe detangling as well? Yes. So tools to use, that's going to be coming up. I want to say I'll also share with you guys. Each week I'm going to post and let you know what's to come. But just to give you a little briefing, this week was the get to know me and just kind of introduction. Week 2 is about trimming. Week 3 will be about cleansing and properly cleansing and conditioning. Week 4 will be about hair typing, and we'll go into like twist outs. I'll give you guys tips on that, styling tips, products. I'll share with you like my staple products for my twist outs and other styling. Week 5 we'll go into protective styling and hair loss, and we'll talk about in the last week some growth tips and just beyond the chair, wrapping up beyond the chair. So feel free, if you have any questions, if you're watching this live now or later, DM me questions that I can add per week. But I think that the questions that I got when I posted some weeks ago, they've helped me develop the information that I'm gonna talk about in weeks to come. So I'm gonna wrap this up. My twist out usually lasts for about 2 weeks. Yeah, that's about normal. Personally, mine lasts about 2 weeks. I really try to aim to wash and condition my hair and like retwist it out once a week. Because of the type 4 nature of my hair, it really needs moisture sooner than 2 weeks. But the way that I layer my products, it tends to last me a good week and a half. So I push it to 2 weeks. But just like I'm telling y'all, make your hair your priority. Make it important. Make it a self-care thing. I'm trying to follow my own advice. Every week is different. It's about prioritizing, right? So I'm definitely getting better with that, but I don't go past the 2-week mark. But my encouragement is always like a week, washing it every week. Sometimes life happens and that just doesn't happen. So I would just encourage 2 weeks be the maximum. Because with natural hair, it's tricky. It can look real good 2-3 weeks if you let it, and be dry. You don't want to do that. We're talking about nurturing the hair. Just bliss out there. Yes, you are as good as me. And that's why we're doing this live, because I'm going to share and I'm going to encourage you guys, and I'm going to give y'all all the tips, all the tricks, all the tools, all the info, answering all y'all questions. Whatever y'all want to know, that's going to help you guys get it done, because I want to see y'all wearing y'all hair more. Period. I want us all to just embrace our hair. Even if you wear the wigs and even if you wear the braids and stuff like that, at least wear your hair for at least a month. Give it a month. A month too long? Give it at least 2 weeks. But let your hair breathe. Let your scalp breathe. Learn how to wear your hair. At one point, that's all we was doing. So get back to it, okay? That's all I got to say about that. My twist out lasts about 2 days, not 2 weeks. I read that wrong. How can it last longer without having to wash it so much? We're going to talk about that because maybe it could be the way that you're applying the products. It could be lasts about 2 days. I also want to address retwisting at night. That is something that helps mine last for a good 2 weeks, and that's stretching it. That's something that a lot of people don't do. You know, with twisting, then they kind of put their bonnet on and just kind of go through the night and then wake up and then it's just not in place. But if you take the time at night, about 10 to 15 minutes, once you really get into a groove of it and you retwist your hair at night, that really prolongs the life of your twist out. Guaranteed. I don't mind your 100 questions. Ask them away. I am here. That's what we're here for. I chopped all my hair off. It's just existing no style, so I can't wait to go on this 6-week journey. Yay! I'm proud of you. Start it over, child. As many times as you have to. It's just existed. Felicia, you funny. Well, that's my encouragement. We're going to develop a healthy relationship with our hair, ladies. So, I'm happy that you guys showed up today. I'm happy that you're here and you're going to go on this 6-week journey with me. And let's just love our hair. We're going to love on our hair. We're going to love on ourselves. Loving on our hair is loving on ourselves. So let's make our hair part of our self-care. Let's not make it a thing that we don't like to do. Let's not make it this task, because it doesn't have to be that. And let's just get used to embracing our full selves. Like I said, hey Danny, like I said, our braids, our wigs, our looks that we like, that's good, that's fine, but we got to show some love to our own hair, because then when you don't have none because of these braids and these wigs and all of this stuff, then you're stuck. And that was one thing I always wanted, just bald, child. I always encourage my clients that even if we do a sew-in or we do, I didn't do the wigs and stuff, but I had clients that would come to me for their hair underneath their wigs, and they would go to other stylists who specialize in those things. I encourage taking care of your hair underneath these protective styles, but also not getting used to it, because we get used to a certain look that these things give us, and then you forget how you look with your own hair, and you don't want to embrace it, and then you get stuck in these styles that give you a look. And a look is good, but you also have a look, and you need to nurture your look, and you need to embrace your look, because it is you. It's part of you. Your hair is an extension of you. And so that's what we're doing in these next 6 weeks. We are giving our hair some love. We are learning and developing the tools that we need. We're developing the confidence that we need to manage and maintain our hair beyond the chair. I just love it. I love beyond the chair. I like the play on the words, Beyond the chair, me resigning from behind the chair to beyond the chair. But me being here with you guys is encouraging you guys to manage and maintain your hair beyond the chair. Y'all get it? See what I did there? Thank you, Sunbeam. I think that was a good closeout too. But yeah, my hair soaks up so much oil. Any tips for that? Soaking up oil. See, that's the thing with oil. Sometimes, most times it's not. I'd be surprised if it's soaking it up, because my thoughts are that the oil is sitting on your hair. We'll have to talk about that. DM me. But I don't think And see, this is where it gets a little tricky because I'm not hands-on dealing with the hair. But in my experience, like, I get it. It also depends on the oil that you're using. But if it's something that's kind of thick, kind of heavy, 9 times out of 10 it's actually sitting on your hair. It's not soaking it up. Hair, this is why I would encourage layering products, and we'll talk about that more. But the consistency of products matter. I don't want to get all scientific on y'all, but the molecular weight of products matter. And oil is a little on the heavier side. So the hair, depending on the oil, it does penetrate the shaft. But as far as soaking it up, yeah, castor oil, it is not soaking it up. That is sitting on your hair. And so when you say it's soaking it up, how is your hair, what reaction is your hair giving it that makes you feel like it's soaking it up? What response is your hair giving you that makes you feel like it's soaking it up? Is it still dry? Because sometimes with those heavier oils like castor oil, depending on the texture too, some people swear by castor oil. In my personal experience, yeah, like every day it gets back dry, yeah. In my personal experience, a lot of times too much oil can actually create like a barrier, which can also make your hair dry because your hair isn't able to release or accept product properly. So I prefer oils like argan oil, for instance. Argan oil is much thinner than castor oil and less heavy than castor oil. If you're looking for an oil to use on an everyday basis, I would look for an oil mist. Something along the lines of a mist. Because the weight is very different. And then also to re-moisturize, it would be a better oil consistency choice because you can spray it onto your hair or spray it onto your hand, and even though it's still oil, it's not as thick as perhaps your castor oil or oil that comes in a bottle. The consistency matters. And then once the hair is already dry, like in your twist out, like once my hair is already defined from the twist out and you're re-adding products in, the hair is not even really in a state to necessarily accept. So we're going to talk more about that because we want to get our hair to accept product in the wet state. That's when we can get most of our product into our hair, not when it's dry. But I would encourage you to look for like an oil mist spray. And if you have to use an oil on a bi-daily, what am I trying to say? Like every 2 days or so, then use a less heavy oil. Any more questions before we wrap up? I hope that helped, Max Brody. I hope that helped. But 9 times out of 10, I'm more than sure, especially my experience with castor oil, with myself, with my clients, 9 times out of 10, it's really heavy and it's just really creating like a blockage to your hair to actually accept moisture. Okay, good. Can you give tips on how to grow your edges back? I'm 10 months postpartum and struggling. I understand. I understand that. I did not personally experience it, so I can't speak from a personal experience. But I have had clients that have gone through that. And my first of all, my first tip would be to just relax. It will come back. It will come back. I would just encourage stimulating your scalp massage, a little oil on your fingertips, massaging, making sure that your diet is balanced. I would encourage you to continue to take your prenatal vitamins if you aren't already. But in my experience with a lot of clients who have experienced postpartum shedding and the loss of like hairline area, it does come back. It just takes time. And that's the only thing with hair growth. It takes time. Hair grows very slowly, especially when you're watching it. That's with anything. When you're watching it, take a long time. I would encourage you to just relax. It's going to come back. And just give it love, give it positive energy, and just put thoughts in your head, because I'm big on energy, especially the energy we give into our hair. It can come back, and it will come back, and it is coming back. Just give it a chance. 10 months postpartum, give it a chance. You are so fresh. So I'm not sure at what month it started to shed, but definitely just give it some time. I hope that helped. Give it some love, give it some massage, and just give it some time. Give it a little vitamin, a little water, a little balanced diet. It'll be back. So, any more questions? I got about 3 minutes, and I'm going to exit. And we'll see each other in week 2, where the topic is all about trimming. I'm so excited about this topic because that is something I get questions about all the time. So we are going to talk about it. You're welcome, my love. You are welcome. Any more questions, guys? Well, I'm going to wrap by saying thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this has been helpful. This is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. This is week 1 of Beyond the Chair, and we're going to be talking all things hair. So even if you're just tuning in or watching this later, like I said, submit me some questions, DM me, give me some questions, give me some feedback. If you have any questions about trimming and hair trimming and anything, all things trim and hair cutting, DM me some questions. Let me know what you guys want to hear next week. And also, you can also save those questions if they're pertaining to trimming. You can ask them next week as well. So we'll be back next week, same time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, I would like to thank y'all for joining me. Thank you so much. Good advice. I'm super excited. Looking forward to next week. I am super excited about next week. I think I'm excited about all my topics. I ain't gonna lie. So I think this is gonna be good. This is gonna be really good. But thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for supporting me, and I just appreciate y'all. So I'll see y'all next week. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful night and a wonderful end to your week. And I love y'all. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.